Hey team, I hope you're all well. Gary here from Gary Rankin Coaching, and today I want to give you something to have a wee think about, and then I'm going to give you some practical steps to help you to put it into action. So please make sure you've got your pad and pen at the ready, and let's get straight into it. If you want to get the very best possible results for yourself in any area of life, then one thing that we're going to want to do is to make sure that the tools and equipment that we're using are in the best condition possible, i.e. that they are adequate and appropriate to get the job done and help us achieve the results that we want, right? Because let's say that we want to chop down a tree. If we're going to chop down a tree, we want to make sure that our axe is sharp. Because if the axe isn't sharp, then we're not going to be able to cut down the tree. If we try, then we might injure ourselves in the process. Or if somehow we do manage to cut down a tree with a blunt axe, it's probably going to take us much longer, and we're going to waste so much precious time and energy, when if we just made sure that our tools and equipment were in the best condition possible and ready for the job, we could get it done so much more quickly and effectively. And so, if we want to get the best possible results in any area of life, as well as making sure that our tools and equipment are in the best condition possible, we also want to make sure that we are at our best. Because if we want the best results, then we need to be our best, right? And here's the cool thing. Being at our best isn't just something that happens by chance. It's something that we can create, that we can cultivate, that we can nurture, and that we can actually make happen. Through a process of self-discovery and personal growth, we can work on our mindsets, make ourselves more confident, have higher self-esteem, be more disciplined. We can work on specific skills to become more talented, more efficient. We can work on our consistency and how we do things and make ourselves even more productive and effective. And so the cool thing is, by working on ourselves, we can make sure that not only we are at our best, but we can allow our best to keep getting better and better so that we can achieve even greater results. And here's another cool thing for you to think about. When it comes to getting the best results possible and having our tools in the best condition possible, everywhere you go and everything you do, you are there. You're inside this mind and you're inside this body. And your mind and your body are two of the most powerful and valuable tools in your possession. And so if we choose to develop our minds and to become more confident, more skilled, more proficient, more productive, we choose to work on our bodies, become fitter, healthier, stronger, have higher endurance, then by working on these two tools, then everywhere we go and everything that we do, we're going to be even better. And again, using that momentum, we can keep getting better and better and better. And so, if you want the best possible results for yourself, your life, your family, your clients, people that you care about, then personal growth and self-discovery are two very useful and empowering tools that can help you to do that. Now, how do we go about using self-discovery, personal growth to help us to grow? Great question, and I've got some tips for you. Number one, if you haven't already done so, a great way to learn more about yourself, which by the way, allows us to be more confident, because if you think about it, confidence is a feeling of certainty. When we're confident in something, we're certain of it. When we're confident in ourselves, it's because we're certain that we're good at something or that we can do something. Or, for example, this floor beneath me, if I bounce up and down, I'm confident that I'm not going to fall through the floor because I know that the floor is made of wood, I know that wood is strong, I feel certain that wood is strong, therefore I have confidence that if I bounce my bum up and down, I'm not going to fall through the floor. And so, the more we learn about ourselves, the more confident we can become in ourselves, because the more certain we can be of ourselves. And so a great place to start for some self-discovery, if you haven't done so before, is to take a Myers-Briggs personality assessment. Because when we take one of these assessments, what it does is it gives us information about how our natural psychology works, how our thinking works, how we like to process information, how we like to make decisions, whether we're more extroverted or introverted, whether we rely on judgment or intuition. And by learning about how our specific personal psychology works, we can then go about doing things in a specific way that aligns with how it is our minds work. Therefore, we're even more productive, even more effective, and we can get even better results for even less effort. And so if you go to www.16personalities.com, that's 16personalities.com, you can take a completely free personality assessment. And once you've taken the assessment, at the end, it will give you a free report and tell you, here's a bit about your personality type. Here's what some of your strengths are. Here's what some of your weaknesses are. Here's what you're like in the workplace. Here's what you're like in relationships. Here's some different jobs and things that would be really well suited to someone of your personality type. And that way we can glean insights into who and how we are and how our minds work, and practically apply that to allow us to be even more effective. But even just knowing that stuff about ourselves can allow us to be more sure of and thus more confident of ourselves. And then something super cool we can do in the area of taking that self-discovery and turning it into personal development and personal growth, you can take your personality type, which will be a 4-letter code. For example, mine is ENFP. And you can take your personality type to Google and Google just about anything that you want to learn about, get better at, find more about in relation to your personality. So for example, you could go to Google and type in ENFP productivity and learn what the best proven ways are for people of that personality type to become more productive. Because time and time again, we look online, listen to gurus, people we admire, see successful people, and we go, oh wow, they got that result, I'm going to do what they did. We try what they did, and it either doesn't work out, or we don't enjoy it, or we find it quite difficult, and then we get a bit disheartened and we wonder, oh no, what's wrong with me? They managed to do it. Well, it's not that there's anything wrong with us, it's that they have a different personality type. Their psychology works differently. So what's potentially very natural, easy, energizing, and empowering for them in that process maybe just isn't for you. You know, it's that thing of, if I start speaking French but you speak Spanish, you're not going to understand what I say. And so when we do things in alignment with our personal psychology, life gets so much easier. And so go and take the personality assessment. It's completely free. When you do, and you're answering the questions, go with the very first answer to come up in your mind, because that is normally the most accurate one. Everything after that, when we start going, is us trying to apply ration and logic, and we'll skewer results. So go with the very first answer to come up in your mind and answer as who you are, not who you want to be. Because answering as who you are with the first answer that comes up will give you the most accurate results. Read that report, learn something about yourself, and ask yourself, how can I apply what I've learned to make my life even easier, even more enjoyable, even more successful? And then anything you want to learn about or become better at, you can go to Google and type in your 4-letter code plus ENFP discipline, ENFP productivity, ENFP planning and organization, and all these amazing psychology junkies out there will have stuff that works for you. Tip number 2, in terms of self-discovery and personal growth, is to ask yourself empowering self-inquiry questions. Questions like, what makes me come alive in life? How can I then incorporate more of these things into my daily life? What things would I love to achieve, or experiences would I love to have in life? What skills, qualities, and resources do I need to achieve those things or make those experiences happen? How can I go about developing these skills, tools, resources in an enjoyable way? And just by using some very simple open questions, we can find out more about ourselves. We can find out more about how we can make more of that happen in our lives. We can find out what we need to do and how we need to do it. And by asking ourselves these questions, the answers come up. We learn more about ourselves. And when we learn more about ourselves, we grow. Because there's an old quote, man's mind stretched by a new idea can't return to its original dimensions. So when we learn something more about ourselves, how we can make ourselves better, how we can make our lives more enjoyable, more fulfilling, more successful, that's always going to stick with us from there. And then the last tip for today is to use journaling. You've probably heard me talk about journaling before because it is such a powerful and fantastic tool. When we use a journal, like I carry this mini one here for ideas, I've got a bigger one here that I use at the end of the day every day, and when we just start to write about our days, what we experienced that day, how it made us feel, what we can learn from the day, what we thought went well, what we thought didn't go well, how we can improve it, then what journaling allows us to do is reflect upon our days, reflect upon our lives, reflect upon our actions from an objective standpoint with growth in mind. That way we can learn more about ourselves, what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, how we can improve, what things trigger certain emotions and responses in us, thus how we can mitigate some of the negative ones, double down on the positive ones, and all of this then helps us to grow. Not only that, when we're consistently journaling about ourselves, our emotions, our days, our lives, our goals, we're then accountable to what's in our journal. Because if it gets part of the way through the day and I'm like, do you know what, I can't really be bothered doing that next thing, I'll maybe just leave it. I remember, but I'm going to be journaling tonight in bed about my day, which means I need to face myself, and I don't want to be sitting there writing about how I skipped off that thing and that's something I could improve upon. Therefore, I'll just get it done there and then in the moment, so that when I'm then writing about it, I can be like, yes, a bit of resistance came up today. I didn't want to do that thing, but do you know what? I took charge of my mind and I got it done anyway. And so journaling helps us to reflect, learn, grow, and hold us accountable to being who we want to be and getting the results that we want. And so remember, if you want to be great, if you want to get the best results at anything you do, you are everywhere you go. And so one of the most important and powerful things that we can work on is ourselves, using self-discovery and personal growth, doing a personality assessment to learn more about ourselves, Googling certain things we would like to develop or improve on in relation to our personality type, using self-inquiry questions to learn more about ourselves, to create action plans, and using journaling to help us to record our lives, learn from our lives, grow from our experiences, and hold us accountable. If you've got any questions about anything at all that we've covered today, then please feel free to ask your coach to reach out to me for you, or you can reach out to me directly on Instagram at GaryRankin_. So go away, take the personality assessment, answer the self-inquiry questions, maybe even make up some of your own, Google some more, and start a practice of journaling. Until next time, take care, and I'll catch you real soon. Peace.